if someone's a conduit between a brand and an influencer and they can get them paid for these Instagram posts and blogs, I can make a mozza.
It was a real crystallizing moment for me around choose the people, not necessarily the position.
But I constantly went, I'll buy you a coffee for the cost of, me to pick your brains. And people were happy to do that.
Hi, it's Mia here, and I'm just popping into your ears with something a little bit different. Usually you hear me interviewing someone else, but I'm going to just sort of chat with myself briefly to tell you about the Lady Startup Activation Plan, which is a course that I designed and that I teach for women who are keen to start their own business or side hustle. And it's open for enrollments right now. So I wanted to make sure you knew. I started my Lady Startup here at Mamamia over 13 years ago, and I had no degree and a huge amount of self-doubt. But what really thrills me as a woman and the mother of a young daughter is that so many women and young women and even young girls are now dreaming of becoming lady startups and starting their own businesses. And this is a really big shift, because I remember in the 90s, we were all obsessed with supermodels, weren't we? And in the noughties, it was all about celebrities. Most of them were called Jennifer. But I've noticed a real shift over the past 18 months towards this new female role model, this new type of woman to look up to and admire. And icons for women are now female entrepreneurs. This lifts my heart. It really does. I mean, how great is it that women are being celebrated and admired and looked up to by a whole new generation for what they do, finally, rather than how we look. My day job is as the co-founder of the Mamamia Media Company, which is a lady startup that I began 11 years ago in my kitchen and which now employs around 100 people and reaches millions of Australian women every day. And you'll know all this if you listen to my episode of Lady Startup with Rachel. Our core purpose at Mamamia is to make the world a better place for women and girls. And that is something that we've done for more than 10 years via content. We create written articles and videos and podcasts like this one that help to inform and entertain women and to make them feel seen and heard and understood. And the idea for Lady Startup really sprang out of that because I was thinking about how I could support some of my own girlfriends who were running small businesses, and some of them were struggling and they really needed a PR boost. So I would often, particularly for my friends who are in the fashion industry, I'd wear their clothes and I'd take a photo of my outfit and I'd post it on social media and I'd tag them. And what I saw was that I was really able to make a difference, a real difference to their businesses by giving them promotion and PR and also giving them some advice and support, teaching them and helping them understand some of the things I've learned through trial and error over 10 years of being a lady startup. So I started to realise that there was something that I could do more broadly in this area. Why limit it just to the women I knew? Why not try to help as many women as I could? That's how Lady Startup was born. First, it was just an Instagram account, and then with this podcast as a way to help inform and showcase and promote and support Australian women who are all running their own businesses, and the millions more who, you might be one of them, dream of becoming a lady startup someday. And to do that, I've developed the Lady Startup Activation Plan. It's a 6-week online course that anyone can do part-time in your own time, and it takes you step by step through the 6 crucial stages of starting your own business. I'm going to tell you exactly what the course covers in just a sec, but first I want to tell you who this course is for. Now, there'll be some of you who are working for someone else, which is great. I certainly was when I started my lady startup, when I started Mamamia. Most women are. Most women who are running their own businesses started them as side hustles when they were working for someone else. But there's still that desire to start your own thing. Maybe it's because you feel unfulfilled. You don't enjoy going to work. You want more control over your working hours. Maybe you feel stagnant, or you're just tired of the office politics. I know I was when I started Mamamia. Or maybe you've been out of the workforce for a while. That's really common too. Maybe you've been having babies or raising kids, or you might have taken time out to be a carer for someone in your family or your partner, or to address a health problem of your own. It can be really daunting to think about how to get back into the workforce. And I absolutely hear this again and again. I understand. All of these things are really common motivating factors that push women like you and like me to become lady startups. Something else that I hear a lot from women who want to work for themselves or who already do is the importance of control. Control over what you do, control over what you do each day, how you do it, and ultimately, down the track, control over your income. Being financially independent is such an important thing for women. I'm absolutely passionate about this, which is why more women than ever before are right now running businesses of all shapes and types and sizes. From Janine Alice at Boost Juice, who has an international massive business, to a woman called Misty who sells Misty's salted caramel. She sells these jars of homemade salted caramel at her local markets, and she's grown that from just something that she did in her kitchen and did at her local markets. She's now got 45 different retailers that she wholesales to. And there are so many stories like that.
So my name is Katie Rockcliffe. I started this course because I'm a new business owner. I'm yet to launch. I wanted to learn a million things from Mia Friedman, who I knew full well could teach them to me, and I was very excited at that prospect, and her course has fully delivered.
Look, I'm going to be honest with you, and you'll certainly know this if you've been listening to this series of the podcast. Working for yourself does not mean working less. I'm never going to sugarcoat it whenever anyone asks me what it's like to run your own business. I reckon working for yourself probably means working more or harder than you ever have before. But, and this is really crucial, it feels different. The hours you work just feel different. You feel like you've got purpose in a way that's just not the same as when you're busting your boobs for someone else. You know, the work itself might not be less or easier, but it's somehow more meaningful because there's no politics and there's no resentment. And when you're the boss, you don't ever take your own hard work for granted, and you always have your eyes on the prize, which is building a successful business and having control over your life. And that's what the Lady Startup Activation Plan is all about. I'm going to give you all the tools and the tips and the tricks to move forward with an idea that you might have or a dream that you have for being your own boss and starting your own business. Okay, so that's the pump up. Now I want to tell you a little bit, if you're still interested and you're still listening, how this course is actually going to work. I've divided it into 6 stages. Week 1 is build your idea. And this is really where we're going to establish what it is you're going to sell, the product or the service that is going to be your lady startup. We will identify who your customer is and how you will be making their life better. We'll look at your competitors and we will establish your point of difference. Making sure you've chosen the right name for your lady startup is also something that we're going to do in week 1. And there are some common traps that I don't want you to fall into when you're choosing your name. So we'll be making sure that you know what they are so you can avoid them. At the end of week 1, you will have established what you're selling, identified your customer, identified the problem you'll solve for them, named your lady startup, and you will have drawn a rough picture of your business model. So what money you have to spend to build your product or provide your service, and therefore how much has to go out versus how much money comes in. I'm going to show you how to register your business name and your domain name, and I'll also explain where and when to claim your social media handles for your lady startup. From there, over the next 5 weeks, we will be building your brand, building your product, building your scaffolding, building your audience, and building your launch. The other part of this course that's really important is how, yes, you are going to be challenged and stretched, but you're also going to be guided and supported. Everything I'm going to tell you is on a need-to-know basis because I do understand that one of the biggest roadblocks to starting your own business or side hustle is not knowing where to start or what information to consume, which is why we'll start with the basics and we're going to keep things very straightforward.
My name's Isabella Hanley. My lady startup is Ruby Tuesday Digital Consulting. The course was amazing. I enjoyed it so much. I found that it was so helpful for my business. It took me from where I was initially was kind of plodding along. Everything was okay, but it's taken me kind of to the next level, and it's empowered me to be able to do things that I was a little bit frightened of, a little bit scared of. So that's been really fantastic.
Each week will include a series of short videos that I will send you, hosted by me, that will give you an overview of what we're going to cover that week. There'll also be cheat sheets, downloads, links, and I'll be giving you the Lady Startup Little Black Book of Gold, which is an extraordinary resource we've put together full of all trusted service providers and goods providers to help you get a massive head start on where to go to make your business into a reality. And here is possibly the most important part of this course. When I started Mamamia, I was alone in my lounge room and I was really lonely. I think so much when you talk to women who've started their own businesses, so much of the difficulty is around that sense of isolation. And that's why I wanted to make sure that that does not happen to anyone who joins this course, because a really crucial part of it is the private Facebook group. It's called the Lady Startup Activators. And what it is it's all the people who are doing the course with you. That's where you're going to find me and the other members of the Lady Startup team, as well as your community of fellow activators. And it's that loneliness and sense of isolation that I'm not going to let you fall into. You're going to come to the Facebook group all the time to give and receive advice, vent, celebrate, commiserate, and figure things out together with your fellow activators. And when I've been speaking to women who've done the course, they all said that what's unbelievable about the Facebook group is how it's your little mini market research community. Everyone's saying, hey, what do you think of my logo? I'm stuck at this point. What do you think I should do? There's live Q&As with me. And it's really that group of people, because when you're starting a business, no one is as interested in it as you, except someone else who's at the same stage of launching their own business. So I really wanted to create that community and this incredible platform for connection and support. So that's one of the things that you'll be getting when you sign up for the course.
I would highly recommend this course to anyone who's remotely thinking about it, who has an idea or is even progressed with their idea. Do it. I mean, the knowledge that you gain, the community that you gain, I think the progress that you can make on your business in a short period of time, it is so worth it.
So if this sounds like something that is relevant to you, if you need a kick up the bum, this is the kick up the bum. This is it. I am your human kick up the bum, as well as your human sports bra that will get you through this. If it sounds like you or someone that you know, go to ladystartup.com.au. We are closing registrations in just a couple of days, so don't miss out. Places are limited because I want to be able to give everybody the attention that is required and the support that you're going to need. And I'd love you to join me in the Lady Startup Activation course. And who knows, you could, in the not too distant future, be featured in your very own episode of this podcast after you build your business. All right. I'll see you at ladystartup.com.au.